Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Dallas Mavericks have lost to the Memphis Grizzlies in the play-in 120-106. Great win for the Memphis Grizzlies. Tough loss to the Mavericks. I know Mavericks fans are very freaking out right now. Luka's in the playoffs tomorrow playing game one. The Mavs are not even in the playoffs after, being in the NBA Finals last year. I think a lot of people would have said before the NBA season the Dallas Mavericks won't be in the NBA playoffs after being in the NBA Finals last year. Would have thought you were crazy. Maybe it would have been more realistic if he told what happened with Luka, but I don't think anyone saw that happening either. But it's a tough game for the Mavs. But look, I don't, here's the thing I'm going to say. And Luka is great, and it's nothing against him. But Luka, even if he was in this game, Dallas still would have lost. Luka doesn't change the effect of this game. Anthony Davis went out there and scored 40 points tonight. He shot 16 for 29. He grabbed almost 10 rebounds in 37 minutes. Had a steal, had a block, had 2 assists. So sure, maybe if Luka was out there, who knows if he would have got to 40 points or not. Might have. Maybe would have had more assists. But it's just, I don't think Luka would have changed the result of this game. Maybe if Kyrie was out there as well. But there is no guarantee that if Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks don't make the Luka-Anthony Davis trade, that Kyrie Irving doesn't tear his ACL. There is no guarantee that he would have. I know a lot of people have said in the past, Kyrie's injury would have never happened if Luka was out there, which I don't really know if to believe that or not, because there's no telling of whether an injury would happen or would not happen if one player doesn't get traded. I think that's really hard to go over, but I really think that this doesn't really. Was it? I'm not saying it was a good trade for Dallas. It was, regardless. It was a great performance for AD. It was still a bad trade for Dallas, but I think if Luka was on the floor for Dallas, it would have not changed much. This Memphis team was the better team. You can replace Luka for Anthony Davis with the way he played tonight, and Dallas still would have lost. It might have been a closer game, but they still would have lost. With the way Memphis played tonight, there was no winning for Dallas. And AD was great, but Memphis as a team was great. And sure, Dallas got good production from Klay Thompson, 18 points. But outside of that, there wasn't. And Brandon Williams was great off the bench with 16. But you had 34 for Klay Thompson and Williams, who played great. And AD had his 40. Outside of that, there was not a lot of more points for the Mavs. 74 of their 106 points came from Davis, Williams, and Thompson. Nagy did have 13 points in 34 minutes. And Max Christie did score 11 and 21. And then you want to go to the rest of the scoring. There's not a lot. Lively and P.J. Washington were 2 starters who neither of them scored. Lively played 20 minutes, took 2 shots, didn't score. P.J. Washington played 27 minutes, had some deep foul trouble. Got up to 5 personal fouls, went 0 for 5, didn't score at all. Spencer Dinwiddie, he only played 4 minutes but didn't score. Exum played 13 minutes, only scored 3 points. Gafford played 18 minutes, only scored 5 points. Caleb Martin played 11 minutes, didn't score at all. There was not a lot of scoring outside of Thompson, Davis, and Williams. Or if you want to go over the group of there. So Dallas had on the floor tonight in this game. They had 11 players on the floor, and they got 40 from Davis, 31 from Thompson and Marshall, and 27 off the bench for Williams and Christie. Outside of that, Dallas had another 6 players touch the floor tonight. Of the group of P.J. Washington, Derek Lively, Caleb Martin, Daniel Gafford, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Dante Exum, 6 players I just mentioned, there were only 8 points scored. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah. And then Dwight Powell and Jaden Hardy were DNPs in this game tonight. But Memphis played great. Zach Edey had another double-double, 15 and 11, 2 blocks. Jaren Jackson had 24, 7 and 4. Ja had 22, 9 assists, 3 steals. A very bad shooting night for Ja. 7 for 24, but amazing 3 steals for Ja. 22 for Bane, not as good as his 30 in his last game, but matched that with 9 assists. Really good night for him. 3 for 6 from 3. He had the second most amount of threes in this game for Memphis. Jaren had 4. And then any starters I'm missing. Scottie Pippen was a starter tonight. 13 points for him. And Santi Aldama, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 points for John Conchar. Funny enough, he had 8 rebounds. There was a kid I went to middle school with, and then was friends with him for a couple years. And his cousins with John Conchar, which was pretty interesting. 2 points for Gigi Jackson. We played 2 minutes in the game, and then. Yeah, Marvin Bagley played 16 minutes tonight, had 6 and 5. There wasn't, outside of Santi Aldama scoring 11 off the bench, not a lot of bench points for Memphis outside of their starters and Aldama. But great win for Memphis going to the playoffs to face the Thunder. I don't think it's going to be a very good matchup for them, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting series. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.